Don't make a thing unless it's a thing. This is Wretched Radio. What things am I thinking about? All kinds of issues these days that are dividing Christ's people. I do not know that the devil has ever been more successful in sowing seeds of discord on issues that maybe are a thing, but maybe they're not a thing. What's my definition of what a thing is versus what a thing is? A thing is an essential orthodox issue. It is a cardinal doctrine of the Christian faith. That's a thing. And those things, when compromised, can cause correct biblical division. Mark those which cause what? Mark those which cause division and avoid them. So divide from the dividers. Mark those who are false teachers. Mark those Christians whose beliefs are aberrant and avoid them. That is a thing based on the essential doctrines of the faith. Now, so that nobody thinks that the secondary or tertiary issues aren't important, they are important, and we tend to deal with that denominationally. We find ourselves in an organizational structure that's more in alignment with how we view secondary and tertiary issues. There's nothing wrong with that. But those issues, and I think I would have to say overall, the conservative community has done a pretty decent job over the last several decades of recognizing what is a secondary issue and still getting along. Best example I can think of would be John MacArthur and Dr. R.C. Sproul. You've got yourself a Believers Baptist guy and a Paedo Baptist guy. They loved each other. They labored with one another. They didn't write snarky blogs about one another. They showed this issue is not going to cause division because secondary and tertiary issues, while being important, they're not a thing. These days, however, I am observing just my life experience, which is somewhat subjective, what I see happening on TV, what I scour over the internet, is there are a lot of issues that the devil is using that apparently are so gut deep that we go to war with one another over an issue that isn't a cardinal doctrine. Please note, I am not suggesting for a second we get soft on false teaching at all. I am not even hinting that we don't contend earnestly for the faith given once. I'm not wanting to compromise. But I also want to be careful that I'm not making a thing when it's not a thing. Because Jesus wants unity. And I would even go a step further, not a begrudging unity. All right, fine. They think that, but all right, I'll fine. I don't know if I take communion with them, but we might be in heaven together. Okay, well, I get that sometimes. I really do. I don't think that's what Jesus desires for us. He wants love among the brethren. What would be an example of a thing that's not a thing? I actually have in my never-before nicotine-stained fingers 8. Jimmy, keep track of these because I suspect you might be able to think of something I didn't, which, okay, let's be honest, that's not a challenging chore. But I just wrote these down, and please note, it's not to make a commentary on any of these. We've done that in the past. This is not intended to be, oh, you're trying to sneak in something about masks. No, I'm not. But I will use masks as one of my 8 issues that isn't a thing. It's not a thing. Unless you can find a Bible verse that informs me that if my brother wants to put on a mask and I don't, or vice versa, that we can't be in fellowship with one another and genuinely love one another. What? Are you feeling it? Have you felt this yet? Like viscerally? Somebody disagrees with you. Let's just stick with masks. We've got 7 more to go. Somebody disagrees with you on masks, and it's like, oh, man, What's the matter with that guy? Okay, you disagree. It's not a thing. It's not a thing. It's a thing. I don't know how much higher I can go to keep differentiating my things here. These issues shouldn't cause us to put our dukes up. Can we explain to the person, hey, this is what I think about Mass and this is why? And they can share what they think about Mass and why, and we can still get along in genuine Christian love. Why are these issues causing us to really look at each other with a bit of a raised eyebrow? They think that about Mass. I thought they were sound. I don't they go to the Shepherds Conference? I thought they had it together. What? They think that about the mask? Issue number 2. COVID. COVID is a thing. Is it an essential doctrine? It isn't even in the ballpark. I know the implications, and we got to figure out Romans 13 and 1 Peter 2 and Titus 3. I get that. But COVID, my understanding of it, how I view the issue, is not an issue of orthodoxy, and neither is yours, or neither is anybody's. And yet, why is it that we are really kind of taking sides on this, like we aren't brothers and sisters in Christ? Number 3, vaccines. This is a subject that is causing so much division, and we seem to be struggling to just get along. Now, I want to stick with just one aspect of vaccines because I want to make sure that you don't think that what I'm saying about vaccines is an indication of what I'm thinking about vaccines, that I'm not get it, don't get it. What do we think about churches that are mandating it? Okay, I'll tell you, I think that's very bad. But the point is, there are some people who think vaccines, they're good. I know some people like that. They think that it's good. I know some people who think that it's terrible. I know both of them. I'm going to divide with one of them because they don't agree with me on the vaccine. I'm going to divide because their assessment of COVID isn't my assessment of it. You think it's a pandemic. She doesn't. Well, that's the end of our relationship. How could we possibly get along when we disagree on a thing? It's just a thing. How's about these issues? Election results. There are different evangelicals. They would say, that bad boy was stolen. Others are going to go, I'm not so sure. And there might even be a third camp that goes, I don't think anything at all. I think it was a pristinely run election. No harm, no foul. It's all good. Okay. What theology is that? Oh, perhaps if you're a Calvinist, you're going, well, that's the doctrine of election. I don't think that word means what you think it means in this context. This is about what our take is on what happened in polling places. Is that causing division in your home? In your church, in your relationships? I wonder, because I see it. Here's another one, and these are all issues that are very current. Voter integrity. We're taking a look at the 2022 elections. Is my vote actually going to count? Somebody thinks yes, somebody thinks no. Away we go over a thing. How's about this one? This is one that isn't political or social. This is a sin issue, but in a sense, it's the application of it in the political realm. Abolitionists versus incrementalists. There are good brothers and sisters who say, heartbeat law, not a chance. Abolish it. Nothing less will do. There are other Christians who would go, look, yeah, well, we agree with that, but we accept incrementalism. Okay, it's a different approach to the issue. I'm supposed to divide from you because you don't see it the way that I do? I think I got it right. I think you got it wrong. How's about this one? Brace yourself for this. Systemic racism. What is that? Well, it is an understanding, an interpretation of a historical and current events in this country about how people groups treat one another. Anybody got a Bible verse? Okay, I get it. Galatians 3. Yes, there's neither Jew nor Gentile. Yeah, I understand. But this isn't affecting that. It's how I observe and assess my nation. Of course, I think I've got it right. I don't think there's systemic racism, but you do. What Bible verse am I going to bring to go, well, church discipline for you? And even though we don't practice it formally, all too often these days, we practice it practically by just dropping them. I can't work with you in the church. You think this about it, and I think that. Maybe, just maybe, that what we are producing is a lot of glee from the devil, who is using all of these issues to break up something that Jesus wants, unity. Therefore, might I encourage us all as we engage in these conversations to make sure that we don't make a thing unless it's a thing. This is Wretched Radio. I'll be needing to see some identification, young man.
Why?
Because you, my friend, are a lawbreaker.
No, I'm not.
You are, according to this video from Ray Comfort. Production. I need the clips on time.
911, what's your emergency?
We met about
Yeah, he asked me to
this.
become a gospel partner, and he took my credit card.